the owners in this bar and have graciously donated this space to us. And it may be a cliche, but organizing this fundraiser has taken a huge chunk of my life and of Susan's for the last few months. And I absolutely couldn't have done it without the support of my husband, Don Goldman. And the last person I want to thank is Susan, because we have worked together so well, and we'll tell you a little bit more about it, but it's been wonderful.
What she said. Okay, so we also had the most unbelievable turnout of volunteers who have just worked amazingly to make this thing happen. And we wonder if we could get all volunteers just to stand for a minute.
And wave your hand.
Yeah, stand and wave. We had the experience that we asked and people said yes. And that's just what this whole thing is all about for us, is all of us working together.
Yes, I have to just stand on my tiptoes. I'm not going to mention in detail any of the horrible things that are happening in our country right now. We all know what they are. The loss of the values that are important. Tonight is something different. Tonight's the way you can do something about it. Swing Left's motto is don't despair, mobilize. And tonight you're going to hear from our speakers and from us about something you can actively do.
So you'll be hearing a lot about that from people later, but there's one final thing that you can do that we want to emphasize right now, and that is that you can, it's the thing if you do nothing else to do, and that is vote. And I would tell you early and often, but since I can't, I'll say take 5 of your best friends when you go. So Cheryl and I just want to share a couple of fun facts and maybe not so fun facts with you about midterm elections. On the one hand, Democrats historically turn out in lower numbers than Republicans in midterm elections.
That's very important to know. But on the other hand, the Republican advantage tends to be less when there is a Republican in the White House.
On the one hand, Democrats have been trending toward higher voter turnout.
And on the other hand, increases depend a lot on young and minority voters. And these groups tend to vote less in midterm elections. So you can imagine what that means.
So, and of course, if the 2016 elections taught us anything, it's that in an age of Donald Trump, all predictions can just go kaflooey. So it seems to us that the safest thing that we can do as Democrats is outperform our historical low show-up rate at midterm elections. And that means 2018. So when you're thinking, what can I do? Start with the pledge to vote yourself. Then consider how you might connect with some of the efforts that you're going to be hearing about tonight to help get others to vote. And maximize the Democratic turnout in 2018, which is where it's going to be the difference that we think can make the difference. So, by the way, we have stations here with people who are just waiting to help you do that. If there's, thank you, need help from every quarter. If there's anybody here who isn't registered to vote, back in the back of the room, there are some people just waiting to give you a voter registration form and information about how you might get help with that if you need it. Okay, so obviously we're all gathered here for a fundraiser tonight, and we are really dedicated to trying to do the best we can to help the Democratic candidate who ends up running in New York 11 for the House of Representatives start with as much financial support as they can possibly get. But from very early on, Cheryl and I felt that there were some other really important things about this evening. One of those things is our community with each other, our mutual support for our mutual desires to get our country back on a track of decency and justice and caring about one another. The fight to see those values reinstated is going to be long and hard, so we need to be able to draw energy and support from one another. As that African proverb goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So the other thing that Cheryl and I have felt was important about this evening was that it served as kind of a pivot from the fundraising phase in Swing Left to what comes after. What can we do to keep our intentions alive? We have some valued leaders here from Swing Left that Cheryl's going to introduce you to a little bit later that's going to talk about how Swing Left responds to that. We are very lucky to have some people here for some other organizations that we'd like you to know about who are also working towards some of these issues that we care so much about, but working at them from a different angle and taking a different focus on them. A thing that we share in common with each of these organizations is that we all came into being as a response to Donald Trump. In the midst of the shock and dismay that followed from the 2016 elections, each group represented here decided that something just had to be done, that Donald Trump's agenda and actions had to be challenged. Of course, our own Swing Left response is to focus on taking back the House of Representatives. But we're so fortunate tonight to have leaders here from some of our sister organizations who have taken a different tack. So let me make sure right now, is Danielle, oh, there's the lady that's been smiling in the front and making me feel great. Okay, so first I'm very pleased to introduce you to Danielle Brecker, who comes to us from Empire State Invisible. I've been told that Empire State is one of the most active of the invisible organizations in the National Invisible Organization. And it feels to me like Indivisible practically introduced us to the word resist. So Danielle, will you please come tell us what we should know about Indivisible?